Fire it up. Fire it up. Fire it up.
Oh, it's on Facebook.
Yeah, we go Facebook Live, and then we throw it onto YouTube.
Cool.
Fire it up. Yeah, I feel like doing that. I feel like doing an intro like that one guy in the UFC who goes, "And we're live," just because you guys are in the podcast.
And in the red corner, Wilson, 95.2.
You probably get sued for that, you know, like Bruce Buffer's line.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Are we on? Cool. Here we are. Thorn's 3-pack, 2-pack. Today it's a 4-pack. 4-pack. Thorn's 4-pack. You got Dennis, myself, co-founder Thorn, my trusted sidekick here, Tom Kiely,
General Manager.
GM, and we have two amazing guests today. We've got Paulina and Wilson. Tell us a little bit about yourselves. I mean, Paulina has been working for Thorn for a while. Wilson's been a longtime fan, and we've gotten drunk a few times on some good old Thorns. Yeah, but give the people a little intro.
So my name is Paulina Granados. I've been working at Thorn for like 5 years now, I believe. 5 years it's been. And I train out of Alliance MMA. I've been, doing martial arts for 11 years now. And Thorn gave me a job when nobody else would. So, these are my boys. I love beer.
You really leaned into the enunciation of Paulina right there.
Where?
You like
Paulina Granados.
There you go. Nailed it. Actually, I remember, hold on, when you first got hired, Dennis is like, yo, I got this like badass girl. She's like an MMA fighter. She's going to be sick. And behind closed doors, we're like, hey, Dennis, can we just get people that know about beer? Because Dennis is always like, Dennis wants these electric personalities. And
Dude,
hey,
I remember
100%. And you know what's funny? I have to say, and I've stuck with that since the beginning of Thorn, I think you could teach people beer, but you can't teach people personality. Yeah, and so Paulina's a great example of it. I mean, my buddy Scott Kaplan, he ended up being the head brewer at Thorn in North Park for a while. When I said to hire him, I got some kickback. They're like, this guy doesn't know anything on beer. I'm like, dude, this guy's one of the hardest workers I know. Everything he does turns to gold. He turned into a semi-pro longboarder. He shapes his own boards. He ended up becoming our brewer. And it's like, it's just one of those things. So I will always, to the day I die, rather hire someone who's a hard worker, has a great personality, is fun to work with, because I think you could teach them everything else. And so that's one of my favorite things about Thorn too, is if you look at the people that work at Thorn, it's like we have Paulina as a professional female MMA fighter. We've got Robbie Gallo, he's a rapper. We've got Dougie, who's in a band. It's like we've got artists. We got all these things, and a lot of breweries you go into, and everyone you're going to see behind the bar are all like, they look like you, Tom, and which is great. But you're just that average. You're just that thick bearded white man that everyone sees at a brewery, and our brewery is 100% not that, and I love that. But anyways, here you go, Tom.
But we have a quota we got to hit, and I help hit the quota
of
bearded white men.
Fair enough. But yes, I'm glad you brought that up though, because Paulina's been a godsend. She's one of our hardest workers, and she's just an awesome individual. So
what's funny is that like when Corey interviewed me, like he was asking me stuff about beer, and at the time I actually didn't drink beer, and I was like, and he was like, oh, what's your favorite beer? And I was like,
Zima?
I said Dos Equis, and he was like, don't ever say that again.
So Mexican.
Sounds about right. Sounds like the kind of answer I expected when Dennis is like, yo, I got this MMA chick that wants to bartend. I'll tell you what, way wrong. Paulina, you're my favorite. I love you to death. Yeah.
Now I'm like the biggest advocate for Barrio Lager, so,
My girl.
I made up for it.
Of course.
So Tom, I'm usually right. It just takes some time, but it takes a little while for you guys to really get in on it, huh?
I mean, that's the Dennis O'Connell line. That's his favorite line. Dennis has a great memory for the ideas that stick, and he very conveniently forgets about the ones that didn't work out so well.
Love to hear those ones. That's another podcast.
Yeah, an entire one.
Wilson, tell us about you.
Yeah, so my name is Wilson Hayes. I am a Jiu-Jitsu black belt, MMA fighter, and a former UFC fighter and title challenger. I've been in San Diego for about 8 years now. I've been training at Alliance MMA in Chula Vista for the past 11 years. So, man, so I love here being in San Diego, I love coming to Thorn. I've been coming to for a couple of years now, and then yeah, just living the life here in San Diego, training MMA, fighting.
Yeah, I live in Chula. A lot of people consider us the 2 toughest guys in Chula.
Ah.
Do you get that a lot too? They're like, yo, TK, you and Wilson, right? Like, yeah, we hold it down.
I get that.
Yeah, you get that?
I have to say, Wilson, and it's funny because, people always talk about it, and it's so true. When you get to know people that are fighters that have fought, they're the most level-headed people. They're you see people that start fights when they get drunk, and it's like you hang out and party with you guys. I remember we went and watched Jeremy. Was it Mexico City? Mexico City.
Yeah.
So we went to Mexico City and we were hanging out with Wilson. And Wilson, I swear to God, is like just all smiles. He just can barely stand it. He's got the biggest. He's just so happy. And every time I look at him, I'm all, you can't have a bad time with this guy. He's just so happy. It's by far one of my favorite people to drink with and hang out.
For sure.
So, sorry, Wilson, you said former UFC title challenger. What weight?
125 flyweight.
Okay, so is that Dom's weight class?
No, Henry Cejudo.
Is he 25?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was before Henry Cejudo went to 135.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Harry actually got both.
Yeah. So who did you fight for the title?
Demetrius Johnson.
Demetrius Johnson?
Demetrius Johnson, yeah.
Oh, yikes.
Beast. Yeah, he's like, they're one of the best fighters and one of the best, definitely
Of all
the best
time.
flyweights of all time, yeah.
Yeah. That's a tough run.
Yeah, man, it was definitely for me. It was like it was an amazing time of my career. To not only get in UFC, it's so hard to get to UFC, but making UFC, get to the title. I got to the title twice. I got the title in 2016. I got title fight with Demetrius, but he got hurt 2 weeks before the fight, and then I had to fight again 2 more times, get a title shot again, and then I fought him in 2017, and I fell short, but man, it was a great fight, great. Opportunity, and then just to live that moment, and I'll do it again, and still keep going.
Yeah. No, good for you, man. I look at so I watch. I don't have the practitioner's body, but like I like to watch, and I see guys like imagine like a Daniel Cormier, right? He like imagine his college wrestling career, but he ran into Cael Sanderson, and then in the UFC he ran into John Jones, and it's like. There's just certain guys that like their ceiling almost you never really understand where it is because they just run into these ridiculous talents in their lifetime. To fight in that weight class with Demetrius Johnson, it's almost like how do you know exactly how great you could have been because you ran into one of the greatest of all time and you only get one and you probably only get one shot at it, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough run.
Yeah. But then, it is great to live that moment. Just for me, like I learned so much. Just like little things, like being the main event in UFC, get all the media behind you, all these interviews, and be there at the arena. And then one thing for me was crazy is watch all these fights that I was always a fan of, and I'm the main event. All these guys were fighting, I'm just chilling, Like, boy, this felt sick,
Did you thank them? Hey, thanks for opening for me. Thanks for warming up the crowd. Yeah, that's what I figured.
And I got my own locker room, my own room, and everything. So I thought it was just insane experience. For me, I would take that for the rest of my life. And then it definitely gave me just so much knowledge. And then just to fight Demetrius Johnson alone, somebody that like I idolize a lot. I got to fight him, and then him, and to see, it's like what you say, man. Some guys they're too good, And he was one of those guys, but he worked hard to get to the point that I'm doing the same thing, So all experience.
Are you going to throw on 10 pounds and fight Jeremy?
Yeah, no, fuck no.
Jeremy's crazy.
Man,
So, it's funny, though. There's another fight that we've been talking about for a while that I'm looking forward to. It's Paulina and Tom.
Hold on.
It's Paulina and Tom. You've heard it here. Anybody who said that this
We've been
fight
fight camp
has
for
been
like
a long
10
time
years.
coming. And so it's this much closer to coming to reality because as of today, it sounds like we're going to build out a little jiu-jitsu speakeasy. We're going to call it Jiu-Jeezy. And we're going to finally live stream Paulina kicking Tom's ass.
Yeah.
So pay attention. Pay very close attention for that.
Live with the Facebook Live pay-per-view.
Yeah. But here's the deal. She has to make weight at 105.
Oh my God,
That was
that's
the
fair.
stipulation.
What about you?
Well, I am a sloth. I'm saying, but that's the only reason I think I can win. I am objectively too heavy.
I
That's
I want my 1 pound allowance.
Yeah.
Is that a title fight?
I'll consider it. I'll consider a 1 pound allowance.
It's a title fight. I think it's a title fight. So that's going to happen. So anybody else that will find just pure joy in watching Paulina whoop Tom's ass, pay attention. We will post that. It'll be live, so for sure that'll be on the show.
Stories on Jeremy, Steve, because me and Jeremy were boys, and then so me and Jeremy, we actually like the first I always heard about concussions and stuff, but never really understood what concussion was. And then remember one time I was like this. I didn't find out the 2 years later, but one time I went to we Alliance MMA back in 2010, and Jeremy was a 155er, huge, and when he was knocking everybody out, like he still is, but then. It was me and the other guy. He's like 155. There was in UFC too at the time. And then Eric Del Ferro, our coach, told us to just going to Shark Tank Jeremy 1 round each, So Jeremy in the middle and then 1 round each, me and this other guy. So I went round 1 and round 3. The guy's supposed to be 2 and 4. So I go round 1, I get fucked up. The other guy go round 2, I get fucked up. And I go round 2, I get fucked up again. But then I'm good. I say, cool, man, I already did my 2 rounds, so I'm good. So the guy that did round 2, he said, fuck this, man. I don't want to go round 1. So then I have to go around 4. I have to go 3 and 4. I said, bro, Jeremy just fuck on this streak. And then I kept it going. I just got fucked up even more. And then I make it through this sparring, and then I go home. And then I'm here studying also the coach Eric's house, and I'm just in bed, and I'm with the cold in the gym out of my mouth. I said, man, what's going on? I just catch a cold off the sun, And then years later, I'm telling him, no, but it's got fucking concussed, so all this striking.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Yeah, so I've read it. The idea of the Shark Tank is it's to condition you. So when you're training for a fight, right? It's like
somebody fresh. And
you bring in 5 guys. They get a
yeah.
fresh round every time, and you have to fight them all to condition yourself, right?
Yes.
We're doing that here. We're doing that at the Jeezy.
Yeah, we're gonna do it all, man.
So there was this last UFC fight, which is like a week ago, right? Was it Josh Emmett that just got fight of the night? Jeremy fought him like a year ago. Dude, that was
Jeremy put him out for
that
a
was,
year.
every now and again there's like a fight or a knockout where you see it and you're like, oh my God, I almost don't want to look. When Jeremy was raining those elbows down, that's like a level of almost like violence. That's like, how can they show that on TV?
Jeremy probably has the record of the guy that broke the most jaw in UFC. That's for sure. At least that I know by the top of my head, it's 3.
Yeah, scary dude.
I mean, you guys are both pro, and so Jeremy's he's that good, huh?
Yeah,
Dude,
he's the animal.
Especially when he gets into like training and you can see in his eyes, you're like, oh shit, I don't want to talk to Jeremy today. He's like.
Yeah, the best thing, when you go to Alliance MMA, if you ever heard that thing when the people say, when you're going to do something important, like a work meeting or something, so you have to have your mind in the right place. And if you don't have your mind, just don't go. It's like Alliance MMA sparring days when you have, Paulina, myself, Jeremy, all these, talent, Dominic, and all this talent Alliance MMA feel. Because you go to Alliance MMA on the sparring day, for example, like Friday, everybody's kind of on your place praying, Say, man, those guys are ready to die.
Yeah, Jeremy will look in the corner. Jeremy's like praying, like meditating, and you're just like, oh God, I feel bad for whoever has to go with him.
Like that, people are like literally like, they just like they take it serious, Oh
yeah.
Especially Friday nights or Friday sparring days are like the craziest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to be the best in their sport, especially in a sport like that. I mean, it's serious.
Yeah.
I've heard Jeremy say it on a few occasions where he's like, fuck this, man. I'm not making friends with this guy I'm fighting. He's taking food off the plate of from my family. It's like he's
that's his mentality.
He's full on. He's like, I'm not shaking this guy's hand. When we were down in Mexico, he's like, that was very interesting.
Yeah.
But he's not looking to make friends and be buddy. He's really like, he goes into it going like, you're in my way of like feeding my family and like surviving, and it's like, that's an intense. I mean, he's definitely bringing the heat, for sure. Yeah. So real quick, just because it's such a treat to have you guys here. We're usually just talking beer and I'm talking shit to Tom, which is really fun, but he doesn't like all my jokes. So in your world right now, I think the latest news is this Fight Island.
Yes.
And so, I've heard a little bit about it. What have you heard about it, and what do you think about it? It's a good move to get something going.
Yeah.
But I'm curious what fighters think.
So I felt like initially it was like a marketing tool, you know, because I was like, there's no way they're gonna get like a real island. But they got like some little like peninsula, like in Abu Dhabi. I think it's called
Yeah,
Yas
that's what I heard.
Island.
I think they've had fights there before too.
Oh really? So it's like Yas Island, but
Oh,
they're
they have
having
fight
like
in
5
Florida,
events
don't
there back to back, which I think is really cool. But like when I heard Fight Island in my own head, I was like, dude, I can imagine like, you know, in Mortal Kombat, like they get on a boat, and they land,
Yeah.
they like start fighting.
Then
in
at the end, you
sand.
uppercut them, they
Yeah.
fall past the thing into the spikes. Yeah.
Like that's like I don't know why like when I heard Fight Island, like that's what I was thinking of, but it's not gonna be like
Like
that.
Tom Sawyer's Island at Disneyland, where you guys, all the fighters get ferried over on a little boat.
Well, from what I understand, that's the benefit of the island is that they're allowing flights from different countries. So the problem with the way that the fights have been in the UFC over the past couple months is that you can't bring in international fighters. So
Yeah,
it's
right
pretty
now,
much
yeah.
only people that are training in America, right?
Right now, all
Yes.
the embassies, all the consulates around the world is closed, you know, so you cannot get a work visa to come to the States, so now they have to find. But then I figure, like, to go to Abu Dhabi, there's got to be some type of visa. I mean, I don't know how it works over there, but I figured too, man, those guys got money, you know, oil money, so they can send a plane to every country.
And they
you know,
love
grab
UFC
some money.
there.
Yeah.
Abu Dhabi loves UFC.
I mean, it makes sense. And the funny thing was, is I think initially the problem was probably bringing people to the U.S.
Yeah.
Now I think the problem was going to be sending people from the U.S. because our it seems like right now a lot of
You're
people are
right,
looking at the
yeah.
United States as like, holy shit, now you guys are what we need to kind of worry about because
We're
you
like
have
a petri dish.
We're like the petri dish. Yeah, no, it's true. You know, so it's very crazy, but it's cool that they found kind of some middle ground. The Switzerland of fighting, right?
And then the first card actually is gonna be sick, man. The first card is like was like Gilbert Burns, and they're gonna have 3 title shots.
Yeah.
And then
Against
got the
Usman?
girls fighting. Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then man, I love that fight because Gilbert is one of my close friends from Brazil. And
Oh, really?
Yeah, we started like jiu-jitsu, like don't pretty much. He's from Rio and I'm from São Paulo, but we pretty much, you know, like met each other, you know, in the tournaments in Brazil. And then he came in here like I did, you know, got his black belt, started competing, you know, and then merged into MMA and then make to the UFC. And man, and he was he always struggled to make weight at 155, and he always like top contender. But
Yeah.
when he let himself go and went up to 170, he's been on a hard streak, man. And for him to be Tyron Woodley like he did like a couple weeks ago,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
just
Tyron
killed
Woodley.
Tyron Woodley, man. Tyron Woodley is a fucking beast, you know.
Yeah.
And he was making fun of Tyron Woodley because Tyron is a rapper too. So,
Yeah.
so like, you know, like that's how he got the fight because he started talking shit on Tyron. But
Yeah.
Tyron so man, like, who are you? You're not even ranked. Like, why you wanna fight me? But then, and then he got a video of Tyron like rapping, and like Tyron like
It's-
sucks at rap. And come on, you can't even rap, just fight me. So they got, so then why I love it. They made the fight happen.
Dude, it's so right because I remember I watched the fight and I like Tyron Woodley a lot, and when you see Gilbert, it's like he's got no neck, and anytime I see a guy with no neck, to me that's the scariest guy because like how do you even hit a guy like that? Like usually there's like a little separation, you feel like you can see a target. With that, it's like a triangle from the shoulder from like the top of the head. It's like such a weird build, right?
Like
It fucking works.
unknockoutable.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah, brick shit house we call them. Yeah, sick, dude.
bro,
Actually,
Fight Island.
yeah, you mentioned Abu Dhabi. That's where isn't there a big BJJ tournament there every year or something like
Yeah,
that?
ADCC,
Oh, yeah,
yeah, every 2 years, yeah.
Yeah.
And one of the oldest, the
it's like the
oldest
finals,
grappling.
right? ADCC, like the finals or whatever.
No,
'Cause
they have
do
a
the
bunch of-
trials in the US,
yeah.
but like the main one is there.
No. Actually, they used to be there in the 90s and early 2000s when they started. And it's funny because the whole thing started here in San Diego in a little gym in Del Mar when the son of the chick was training here, and then just then somehow he brought to Abu Dhabi, told that he was a chick, whatever. But then now it's like very, very popular, But then it's every 2 years, and then now it's around the globe, like around the world, But then, so there's another one called the Pro Abu Dhabi. There's gi and no gi. There's every year, and then there's in Abu Dhabi.
That's the one I'm going to after you teach me some
Yeah.
in the jiu-jitsu. We're gonna go straight to black belt in the jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
It's a 6-year time limit time frame. I heard.
What do you weigh?
When I fight you, you tell me what weight I need to make. I'm in, bud.
Well, how low can you get? I'll fight you at 105 too.
I'm probably like 170, 70. Yeah, probably 180 right now. Yeah, but I could cut. What do you want me to
You're
get
too
to?
big for
I'll
Tom.
cut to 155 and fight you all day long.
If you can get to 125, I'll fight you.
What do you want? Flyweight.
I want you to like not have a sip of water for 3 months. Then I'll
If I lose a leg in a brutal car accident and I weigh that much,
Make
the
it
first thing
through
I'll do.
it.
Just fight you to make me feel better.
I accept.
God damn it.
Oh, sick. So, are you a San Diego guy? I mean, do you train out of Chula all the time? Like, do you live in San Diego now?
No, I live in PB. Yeah, I've been here
Oh, you
for
do?
yeah, I've been here for 7 years now. Yeah. So as soon as I signed the UFC, I was living in Philly. I came from Brazil to Philly, and then I've been training online since 2009 on Dominic environment to help in the camp back then. And then I always wanted to move here. And then I was in Philly teaching, and then I just want to make sure I have a job, and everything secured before I move. And then right when I signed UFC, I made it was like a short notice fight, and I made to the camp in Philly. But then as soon as I fought, I moved here. So I've been here for 7 years now, and I love it, man. Yeah, I love San Diego. I live in PB, with all the Brazilians.
Yeah. So all the Boston people, when they move to San Diego, they live in PB. So I'm from Boston.
Yeah.
So that's where I lived. I lived on Ingram for my first 3 years here.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah, neighbors.
Around PB Drive, Yeah.
Yeah.
In the heart of PB.
Yeah, there was that Brazilian coffee shop that does the acai bowls. I forget the
called
name of it.
Brazilian, yeah. There's a bunch of one actually. Yeah.
There's a lot of them now.
Yeah.
The whole garnet is like something the Brazilian
Yeah.
bikini,
Rum
Brazilian
jungle.
walks, acai.
Rum Jungle?
Yeah, it's a acai place. I don't know why it's called Rum Jungle, but it's an acai place.
Yo,
Sounds like a speakeasy.
Right?
So how happy you guys are from Boston that Tom Brady left Boston?
That sounds like a very rude thing to say. I think you know full well I don't care for it.
Yeah, I was actually surprised, man.
How about imagine this real
Okay.
quick. So imagine you're dating a girl, right?
Yeah.
From 18 to 32, the
Okay.
prettiest years in her life.
Yeah.
And then, she's not ugly,
Yeah.
but you got the prettiest she'll ever be. You dated her for those years.
Okay.
Well, that's what I got out of Tom Brady. I got his best years. So if he wants to go out in his twilight with somebody else, they want to go pay him. God
That's
bless
fine.
him.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
they put a
I
ring
like
on
that,
it.
I
I
like
get
that.
it. Enjoy. Good luck.
Yo, so enjoy. That's good. That makes sense.
Yeah. I tell you what. If the Patriots don't win, I want him to win.
Okay.
If he wins, I am gonna complain, but I'll do it in
But do you
private.
got any insights of what happened?
Do what?
Any insights of what happened? Why did he move?
Yeah, it was ultimately it was just kind of like a lack of appreciation. And Jimmy Garoppolo, he's the quarterback
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
now up at San Francisco. So there was actually some internal reports that got shooed away as wrong that are now coming out to be right. Where the Patriots are really good at they squeeze everything but the very last drop out of a guy, and then they're like, okay, I'll let someone else go pay him and buy.
Oh, shit.
So actually, Bill Belichick wanted to keep Jimmy Garoppolo and let Tom Brady go at that point. Robert Kraft, the owner of the Patriots, wouldn't let him do it. So Jimmy Garoppolo left, and then Tom Brady was like, okay, well, I know I'm not wanted here. I'm going to finish out my contract, and then I'm just going to have to find a home somewhere else. So
That's so sad.
It is very sad.
I was actually
Thanks,
very
Wilson.
surprised, man. I said, "Fuck, man, that's
You
surprised."
open up a wound.
But that's the thing is that's what they do. That's what Belichick does. Is it's he has his EQ is just down there, and his IQ is up there, and he just doesn't care about the personal stuff, which is a little sad. But I pretend like it doesn't affect me, and I move on.
Yeah, I like that.
But you're crying on the inside.
I was gonna say you're kind of talking like you don't give a shit, but there's these little crackles in your voice. It's kind of sad. You're kind of
Are your
sad.
eyes getting watery?
I need to use the restroom.
We're gonna take a 5
I'm
minute
gonna stand on
break.
my eye.
Too fun. Well, shit. I think you guys got to get to. You guys are training right now. You got to get to a class. So, like I said, what a pleasure. It's awesome to have you guys on here. Maybe we'll crack another beer before you guys leave. But yeah, cheers as always. And if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, I see one shout out, Paulina. And all right, cool. Well, we'll post this later, and we'll see if anybody have any fight questions, and have you guys back for sure.
All right,
Cheers.
Sweet.
I'll answer the fight questions for you.
Yeah, you got it.
Thank you guys. Good, nice to
Thank
meet you,
you.
Wilson.
Yeah,
my
Paulina,
pleasure, bro.
my
Bye,
favorite.
Guys.
Good to see
Bye,
you.
everybody. Oh, that was fun.
Fun, right?
Yeah. I forgot that the camera was there for a second.
Yeah,
That's good.
But that was the best time, just like chill like that, you know.
What I was laughing at is the way the cameras were, which we